One of the amazing capabilities of LLMs is writing books or translating text. These two can be a source of income for you. It's not very difficult, but knowing the steps will make your job easier. In this lecture, you will learn how to write a book for children and design a cover for it. What do we need to write a book? First, what is the book about? Because educational, academic, fiction, and other types differ. Each of these can have subcategories. For example, is the novel written in the first person or third person? Is it drama or comedy? You need to determine these things. Alright, let's get started. I choose ChatGPT for this task. Pay attention to the parts marked in yellow to see what points I have mentioned. For the first prompt, I tell it, I want to write a fictional novel for children aged 10 to 15. The narration is in the third person. The book is a maximum of 100 pages, and the outlines are your responsibility. Character development. The novel has two main characters, a 12-year-old girl and a kind, wise monster. Story summary. The girl hears noises from her closet one night. She gets a little scared. A few nights pass, and each night the sounds become clearer and louder. In the first few nights, the girl gets scared and tells her mom. Her mom doesn't believe her. One night, the monster reveals itself. The girl sees that it's not that scary. At first, she acts cautiously, but later becomes friends with it and gives it a name. Every night, the girl tells the monster about the problems she faces at school, with her friends and teachers. The monster guides her on what to do, and the next day the girl follows the monster's advice and sees that her problem is solved. Provide 2 examples for these problems. One with her friends and one with her teacher, each on different days. At the end, the message of the story should be written like this. Monsters don't exist in real life, but there are people or tools that can help us with our problems and provide solutions. We are gradually entering a new era of artificial intelligence, and this could be the monsters of the future, in a good and helpful sense, of course. Please first specify the outlines and then develop each one. Let's go over the prompt together. First, I specified the genre of the novel, which is fantasy. Then, I determined the target age group. After that, I mentioned the perspective, which should be third person. Next, I defined the book's length, 100 pages. Then, I introduced the characters, specifying the girl's age and the monster's main trait. After that, I provided a summary of the story. I also clarified how it should end. Finally, I asked for the outlines. Now, here's the thing. If you ask it to generate the entire book at once, it writes each chapter very briefly. So what should you do? Ask it to write chapter by chapter. When I asked it to generate the whole book at once, this was all it gave me, just 7 pages. I tell it that it only delivered 7 pages, so it tries to improve. But in practice, we see that nothing has changed. I stop it and say that each chapter should have at least 500 words. It gets better, but the later chapters are still too short. I copy everything it has generated so far into Word. Now I ask it to generate only Chapter 1. And you'll see that it gives much more detail and a reasonable length. That's good. I continue this way, asking it to expand each chapter one by one. And after generating each one, I copy it into Word. If you're using the free version and hit the daily limit, you can continue the work the next day. After getting all the chapters, if you'd like, you can generate an image for each chapter to make your book less monotonous. I copy the content of chapter 2 as an example and say, "This text is from a chapter of my book. Please generate a childlike image for it." You can generate a separate image for each chapter. For better engagement with children and to check their understanding, you can also add a few questions at the end of the book. So I tell it, generate 3 multiple choice questions about the overall story, each with 3 options. The goal of these questions is to check whether the child has understood the book. Then, provide the correct answers separately after listing the questions. Even for the book cover or illustrations, you can use AI image generation websites or generate them here. I specify the book dimensions. It asks whether it should leave certain parameters blank or fill them in. I specify a few details. It seems to have assumed the book is in landscape format. I tell it to generate a vertical one. It still generates it in landscape. No problem. If you like the image, you can save it and use an image extension tool to make it vertical. And that's another practical guide, this time on writing long-form text content. I hope you enjoyed it.